Football is about to change forever. Not next decade. Not in the distant future. Right now. When the 2026 FIFA World Cup kicks off across United States, Mexico, and Canada, fans won't just be watching a bigger tournament. They'll be watching a completely different version of football. For decades, supporters have complained about the same problems. Players wasting time, referees being surrounded, fake injuries killing momentum, endless VAR delays, confusing offside decisions, and a system that sometimes rewards gamesmanship more than actual football. Now, FIFA and EFOB have launched the biggest overhaul of the sport's laws in modern history. Some of these changes are already being tested. Others are expected to become major features of elite football over the coming years. Together, they represent football's most aggressive attempt yet to make the game faster, cleaner, safer, and more entertaining. But there is one question hanging over all of it. Are these changes improving football or changing the very soul of the game? Let's break down the revolution. 1. FIFA's war on time wasting. For years, managers have treated time as a weapon. A team scores in the 85th minute. Suddenly, every throw-in takes forever. Goalkeepers become experts in holding the ball. Substitutions feel like they last an entire commercial break. Football's governing bodies have finally had enough. The biggest target? Substituted players. Under new experimental protocols, players can no longer stroll slowly across the entire pitch while the clock keeps ticking. Instead, they must leave using the nearest boundary line. And if they deliberately delay, their team can be temporarily forced to play shorthanded. Imagine defending a one-goal lead with only 10 players because someone wanted to waste 10 extra seconds. That risk alone changes behavior instantly, but that's only the beginning. Referees are also becoming far stricter with restarts, throw-ins, goal kicks, free kicks. The message is simple: play football or lose possession. Officials are increasingly being instructed to punish unnecessary delays immediately rather than allowing players to stretch the limits. The goal? More ball and play time, more action, more football. Because here's a shocking statistic. In many professional matches, the ball is actually in play for barely 55 to 60 minutes. That means nearly 1/3 of a 90-minute match can disappear through stoppages, delays, arguments, and gamesmanship. FIFA wants that number reduced dramatically, and the 2026 World Cup could become the tournament where fans finally notice the difference. 2. Referees are taking back control for years. One image has frustrated football supporters. A controversial decision is made. Within seconds, 8 or 9 players sprint toward the referee. Fingers pointing, arms waving. Chaos everywhere. That era may be ending. The Only the Captain initiative is rapidly expanding throughout world football. The concept is simple. When referees want to explain a decision, only the designated captain is allowed to approach. Everyone else stays away. Ignore the instruction, expect a yellow card. Instantly. No warning. No debate. The objective is not just respect. It's clarity. Officials believe matches become easier to control when communication is limited to one, representative rather than an angry crowd. Many referees have privately argued that this change alone could significantly improve match management, and that's not all. Football authorities are also cracking down on abusive conduct toward officials. Verbal abuse, threatening behavior, intimidation, actions that were once overlooked are increasingly drawing punishment. The modern referee is no longer expected to tolerate conduct that would be unacceptable anywhere else. The message is becoming crystal clear. Respect is no longer optional. 3. The biggest myth of all. The blue card. Remember the panic? The headlines exploded. Blue cards are coming. Football is becoming rugby. 10-minute sin bins are arriving. Social media went into meltdown. Fans hated the idea. Pundits attacked it. Former players criticized it. But here's the truth. The blue card is not coming to the 2026 World Cup. FIFA publicly distanced itself from introducing blue cards at the elite level. Any experimental trials remain limited and highly restricted. As things stand today, World Cup players will still see only the traditional yellow and red cards. So despite the viral rumors, football's biggest tournament is not about to introduce a third card. At least not yet. 4. The pink card and the new era of player safety. This may be the most important change of all, because it has nothing to do with tactics. It has everything to do with health. Concussions have become one of football's biggest concerns. For decades, players often stayed on the pitch after suffering head impacts. Sometimes because they wanted to continue. Sometimes because their team couldn't afford to lose a substitution. That dilemma is now being challenged. Under concussion substitution protocols being explored and used in various competitions, teams can remove a player with a suspected head injury without suffering the same tactical disadvantage. In South America, fans have even seen the use of a pink card system connected to concussion substitutions. The principle is straightforward. Player safety comes first, not the scoreline, not the tactical battle, not the importance of the match. A player's brain health outweighs everything else. Given growing medical evidence surrounding head injuries, expect concussion protocols to become even more significant in future World Cups. 5. II is about to change offside forever. The next revolution isn't happening on the pitch. It's happening inside the technology. The 2022 World Cup introduced semi-automated offside technology. The 2026 World Cup will push it even further. Inside the match ball sits advanced sensor technology. Around the stadium, dozens of tracking cameras monitor player movement hundreds of times per second. Artificial intelligence processes all of that information almost instantly. The result? Offside decisions that once took minutes can now be made in seconds. And FIFA isn't stopping there. The governing body is working toward faster communication between technology and match officials. The goal is simple. Less waiting, more certainty, more transparency. Fans should no longer spend 3 minutes staring at a frozen image while analysts draw lines across a screen. Instead, decisions will become faster and easier to understand. For supporters inside the stadium and viewers watching around the world, that could be one of the most noticeable improvements of the entire tournament. 6. VAR is getting even more powerful. Love it or hate it. VAR is not going anywhere. In fact, it's becoming stronger. One of the biggest criticisms of previous systems was that certain incidents escaped review because they occurred moments before the key action. That loophole is being closed. Officials are increasingly examining attacking phases more closely. If a team gains an advantage through a foul before a goal-scoring sequence develops, technology now has a better chance of catching it. The objective is simple. Goals should come from football, not from unseen infractions. Expect VAR to become more accurate, more integrated, and more influential than ever before at the 2026 World Cup. 7. The 48-team World Cup changes everything. This is the biggest structural change in World Cup history. For the first time ever, 48 nations will compete. That means more countries, more matches, more underdog stories, more global representation. But it also creates new challenges. The tournament will expand from 64 matches to 104 matches. That is a massive increase. Players will face greater physical demands. Managers will need deeper squads. Rotation will become critical. One injury crisis could destroy an entire campaign. FIFA is also adjusting disciplinary rules to ensure star players aren't unnecessarily suspended deep into the tournament. Nobody wants a World Cup final missing its biggest stars because of minor yellow card accumulation from weeks earlier. The expanded format is designed to preserve the spectacle while maintaining fairness. Whether it succeeds remains one of the biggest questions heading into 2026. Think about what we're witnessing. Artificial intelligence helping referees, concussion substitutions protecting players, strict anti-time wasting measures, captains becoming the only voice allowed near officials. A 48-team World Cup unlike anything football has ever seen. This isn't an update, it's a transformation. For some fans, it's exactly what the sport needs. For others, it's a step too far. But one thing is certain. When the first whistle blows at Estadio Azteca, billions of people won't just be watching another World Cup. They'll be watching the beginning of football's next era. And the question every supporter will be asking is simple. Has football finally been perfected, or has the game we fell in love with changed forever?